On an early May morning in 2025, the city of Sacramento, California, witnessed a tense incident involving a fleeing suspect, leading to a dramatic pursuit involving police officers, K-9 units, and a shooting. The case began with a report of domestic violence, but quickly escalated into a dangerous situation when the suspect, identified as 37-year-old Johnny Balcorta, fled the scene with what appeared to be a firearm in hand. What followed was not just a routine chase, but a complex series of events involving rapid decisions by law enforcement and an outcome that raised numerous questions about the suspect's behavior, police response, and legal consequences. The incident captured public attention not only due to its violent nature, but also because of the transparency of the police department. To understand just how gripping this pursuit was, let's follow the Sacramento police as they work to apprehend the troublemaker. At approximately 11:50 a.m., on May 2, 2025, the Sacramento Police Department received an emergency 911 call from the area near 400 Jiboom Street, close to Robert T. Matsui Waterfront Park.
The emergency, please.
Hi, I'm at the abandoned building by Old Sacramento.
Which abandoned building? Do you know the address?
I don't know the address. It's the only one right here between Rail Yard and fucking Old Sacramento.
Okay. Do you know the cross street near Rail Yard?
I see.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm going to just take it for a long time. You're going to be fucked up. You're not coming out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on?
So he started knifing me. He tried to molest me.
Okay, I need you to tell me more of where you are because you're mapping near Jiboom Street. Does that sound
Johnny
right?
Balcorta.
Does that sound right?
Huh?
Are you near the I Street Bridge?
Near the I Street Bridge.
Okay. Can you tell me more about what's happening?
He tried to molest me and he threw a knife at me.
Who?
This guy, Johnny.
Do you know who he is? I mean, are you cousins?
He
Friends?
stole how it was my boyfriend, but he's playing games.
Okay, did he hit you with the knife?
He stole my stab. He stole how stuff from my house. Yeah, it's just a messed up situation.
Is he still there?
Yes.
Okay, does he still have the knife?
No, he threw it at me.
Did it hit you?
No, but he has my BB gun. He tried to shoot me with it.
Okay, well, officers are going to want to make sure you're okay. I just want to make sure you don't need an ambulance or anything like that.
I don't need an ambulance, no.
Okay.
He has warrant anyway. He needs to go to jail for his warrant.
Do you know what warrant it is?
For failure to register.
Do you know his last name?
Balcorta. You shouldn't do that to me, motherfucker. Thinking you're going to play me into it. The fuck? You don't do that to people. You don't steal people's steps.
The caller reported a domestic violence incident involving an armed individual. According to the call, the suspect had engaged in serious violent behavior, including throwing a knife at the caller, a life-threatening act, attempting to sexually assault the caller, a serious allegation involving personal violation, stealing property, including a BB gun, a compressed gas-powered gun, often resembling a real firearm. The caller identified the suspect as Johnny Balcorta, a 37-year-old Sacramento resident, critically. The caller also reported that Johnny had an active felony no-bail warrant related to possession of a controlled substance. This information immediately escalated the severity of the situation, as Johnny was not only accused in the domestic violence incident, but was also a wanted fugitive. Police quickly verified the information and confirmed that Johnny indeed had an active felony warrant, meaning he was not eligible for bail and had to be apprehended immediately if located. Given the serious allegations and the report that the suspect might be armed even with a BB gun, officers were dispatched to the scene with heightened caution, prepared for a potentially dangerous escalation. When officers arrived at the 400 Jiboom Street area around noon, they spotted Johnny Balcorta at the scene. However, upon noticing the police presence, Johnny immediately fled on foot, carrying an object described by officers as resembling a firearm. This action instantly raised the threat level, as, in a tense situation, a BB gun resembling a real firearm could easily be mistaken for a lethal weapon. Johnny ran along the riverfront near Robert T. Matsui Waterfront Park, an area with complex terrain featuring dense bushes, trails, and proximity to water, making the pursuit challenging. Officers quickly lost sight of Johnny in this area, prompting the establishment of a large perimeter to prevent his escape. Support from external agencies, including the California Highway Patrol CHP and a crisis negotiation team, was called in to assist. For the next 30 minutes, police used public address PA announcements to urge Johnny to surrender peacefully. These announcements were broadcast repeatedly, demanding that he drop his weapon and turn himself in. During this time, officers observed Johnny exhibiting erratic behavior. He was seen holding the gun to his head, indicating an unstable mental state or intent to confront the police. This behavior heightened tensions, as officers had to consider the possibility that the suspect could pose a danger to himself or others. After Johnny fled, officers initially lost track of him near the riverfront at Robert T. Matsui Waterfront Park. The area's dense bushes and narrow trails made tracking the suspect difficult. Police quickly established a containment perimeter, sealing off nearby roads, including parts of Jiboom Street, to ensure Johnny could not escape. The CHP provided aerial support by deploying a helicopter to monitor the area from above. Footage from the helicopter later showed Johnny moving through the area, still holding the object resembling a gun. Meanwhile, the crisis negotiation team attempted to communicate with Johnny, using loudspeakers to persuade him to surrender. However, Johnny did not comply with these commands and continued to evade capture. Around 1 p.m., nearly an hour after the pursuit began, officers finally spotted Johnny again near Jiboom Street. He was still fleeing, and officers reported that he continued to hold the object resembling a gun, occasionally pointing it at his head. This behavior forced officers to maintain a safe distance, as they could not immediately determine whether the weapon was real. Police continued to issue commands via loudspeaker, ordering Johnny to drop the weapon and surrender. However, he refused to comply and kept running, leading to the decision to deploy a K9 unit to apprehend the suspect. The dog, trained to assist in pursuits, was released to chase Johnny. When the K9 caught up with Johnny, the situation grew even more tense. Johnny used the object resembling a gun to strike the K9 as it bit him to subdue him. This action was perceived as a direct threat to the K9 and the officers on the scene. In that moment, 2 officers, including the K9 handler, fired their handguns, striking Johnny at least once in the arm. Additionally, officers used beanbag rounds, a non-lethal type of ammunition, in an attempt to subdue the suspect without causing serious injury. The K9 continued to bite Johnny, helping to keep him in place until officers approached and handcuffed him. After being shot and bitten by the dog, Johnny fell to the ground, and officers quickly moved in to control the situation. A replica firearm was seen next to Johnny after he was subdued, and police later confirmed that 2 replica guns were recovered at the scene. Immediately after Johnny was subdued, officers at the scene and a medic from the CHP helicopter provided emergency first aid to the suspect. Johnny sustained an arm injury from the gunshot, but the wounds were determined to be non-life-threatening. He was transported to a hospital by the Sacramento Fire Department for further treatment. After being discharged, Johnny was booked into the Sacramento County Main Jail on May 12, 2025. He was held without bail due to the prior felony no bail warrant and new charges stemming from this incident, due to the ongoing nature of the investigation. Details of Johnny Balcorta's official statement have not been fully disclosed in available sources. However, based on police and media reports, it can be inferred that Johnny made no public statements at the scene, and his behavior during the pursuit indicated an intent to evade law enforcement. Johnny faces a range of serious charges following the incident, including felony drug possession related to the prior felony warrant for possession of a controlled substance, resisting arrest, stemming from his flight and failure to comply with police commands, assaulting a police K9. Johnny's use of a replica firearm to strike the K9 was considered a violent act against police property, brandishing an imitation firearm, although it was a BB gun. Holding it to his head during the confrontation with police was deemed a threatening act. Interfering with a police animal, an additional charge related to disrupting the K9's operations. Domestic violence-related charges, including throwing a knife, attempting sexual assault, and theft of property. As reported by the 911 caller, Johnny is scheduled to appear in court in July 2025 to face these charges. Due to the prior felony warrant, he is being held without bail, and the new charges could significantly increase the severity of his potential sentence if convicted. Johnny Balcorta faces serious legal and personal consequences following the incident. Being shot and bitten by the canine caused injuries, though not life-threatening, which may have lasting physical and psychological effects. After his hospital discharge, he was detained at the Sacramento County Main Jail awaiting trial, with a prior felony warrant and new charges. Johnny is likely to face a lengthy sentence if convicted, particularly for crimes like resisting arrest and assaulting a police canine. The Sacramento Police Department SPD faced public scrutiny following the incident, particularly regarding the use of force. To ensure transparency, SPD released body-worn camera footage, 911 dispatch audio, and CHP helicopter footage within 30 days of the incident, in line with their policy on disclosing information in officer-involved shootings. These videos provide a clear view of the events, from Johnny's flight to his eventual apprehension. The incident was also subject to an internal investigation by the Sacramento Police Department SPD, with oversight from the Sacramento County District Attorney's Office and the Office of Public Safety Accountability. The investigation focused on determining whether the officer's use of deadly force was justified under the circumstances, particularly since the suspect's weapon was later identified as a replica firearm. No officers were injured during the incident, and there were no reports of civilian injuries. The case sparked discussions within the Sacramento community about police use of force, especially in situations involving replica firearms. Some opinions on social media, as seen in posts on X, praised the swift actions of the K-9 unit and police in apprehending the suspect. However, questions were also raised about whether the shooting could have been avoided if the situation had been handled differently, particularly given that Johnny was armed only with a replica gun. The incident also highlighted the issue of domestic violence in the community. The serious allegations of Johnny's knife-throwing and attempted sexual assault underscored the importance of early intervention and support for victims of domestic violence. This case marked the second officer-involved shooting in Sacramento in May 2025. On May 13th, another incident occurred in the River District, where police shot and injured a man for threateningly brandishing a replica firearm. These events raised questions about handling situations involving imitation weapons, which can easily be mistaken for real firearms in high-stress encounters. The incident was also compared to a fatal officer-involved shooting in 2021 at Cal Expo, where suspect Robert Calderon killed an officer and a police canine during a confrontation. However, Johnny's case did not result in serious casualties, and the police response appeared focused on quickly and safely subduing the suspect. This pursuit case highlights the complexities of law enforcement work when dealing with a dangerous and non-compliant suspect, from the initial domestic violence report to the dramatic chase, the deployment of a K-9 unit, and the shooting. The incident illustrates the challenges officers face in balancing public safety with the use of force. The Sacramento Police Department's transparency in releasing body-worn camera footage, 911 dispatch audio, and CHP helicopter footage has helped clarify the sequence of events, but also raised questions about how similar situations might be handled in the future. For Johnny Balcorta, the serious charges and looming legal consequences will shape his future. For the community, this case serves as a reminder of the dangers of domestic violence and the importance of coordination among law enforcement agencies to ensure safety. If you have any information related to this incident, please contact the Sacramento Police Department to assist with the investigation. The case remains in the preliminary investigation stage, and new details may be released in the future. That concludes today's case. Thank you for following along, and we hope you found it engaging. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest cases.